of healing, where the city resides within. This is your sister, Sanette and Angela. Hope that everyone is having a beautiful Saturday morning. Wanted to come forth and do a brief share. So much, as we all know, is going on in the world. It's not just affecting, America, etc., etc., etc. If you go and you look in different parts of the world, you'll see some of the same situations happening. And it's being highlighted here. It's indeed an issue. It's a problem. I can go on and on into it, but I'd rather not because I don't really like talking politics. And this situation is becoming more and more interesting as things continue to unfold. And I wanted to just talk about something a little different. I came across a video quite some time ago, and I initially heard of this person because they were doing perfume videos. And I looked at a couple of their videos, and I think I subscribed to them. I'm not sure. But this individual is Kevin Samuels, and he's getting a lot of attention these days because of some topics he's talking about: single mothers, black women, etc., etc., and preferences. I can go on and on and on about the state of relationships, or this situation, non-relationships, and particularly a video he made and told a woman that she was average at best. And the latest one, which I haven't really looked at any of those videos in full detail because I intentionally was affected by it, and I was offended by it, even though it doesn't really relate to me. But I was offended for that person that was talking, and also, for the person that was interviewing, and just in general for black women. I was kind of offended by it, and I'll discuss why. And, even though some of his truths or some of the things that he discussed have some relevance and some concerns, but perhaps maybe the approach, but perhaps, some of his ideology is not necessarily hold true for everyone. I myself, for a while, what some people would say was a single mother, but I wasn't really single because the father was definitely involved. I didn't really date during the time. However, I did have some male companionship and dated some. But it wasn't, hey, you have to take care of my children and I'm looking for someone to take care of my children. It was never that type of situation. So that's why I am kind of offended a little bit that his approach, that women are, all women, it seems the way he's making it feel, that all women are seeking, a man to take care of their children, when indeed, it's not necessarily true. And, he didn't seem to turn the tables, and that's why it's kind of offensive because, there are single men as well. And I myself, my father was a single father, and he had girlfriends, and one of his girlfriends abused me and my sisters, so he lost custody of us. Also, my sisters have been single mothers, and they didn't necessarily I need a man to take care of my children. However, they were single mothers, and they were in very good relationships, and some of the fathers were involved and some of them weren't, and some of the stepfathers took over without any complaints. And so it's not, in my opinion, a matter of, you have to find a man to help you take care of your children. It's just happened to be a loving situation in which the man wants to help you take care of your children. And in some instances, the father is still involved. So that's why I was offended. And I myself was a stepmother. And, I'm not saying the relationship was always, beautiful, and but I think that it was very productive, and I've known a lot of children in my adulthood that I helped take care of as well, that I consider godchildren and friends, and stepchildren, etc., from my past marriage. So I can go on and on and on about being a stepmother. I believe it was a beautiful experience. It's your choice whether you want to be a step parent or not, but I think it's a very loving, giving approach to a relationship. It's not necessarily what I consider a bad thing, and it's not what I go looking for, someone to take care of my children, or, it just was never that situation. And my question and my thought is, what is the fear, that men have, or this Kevin Samuels have, about, another man wanting to help a mother with her children? Of course, there are people or women out there that may, but I think that is the lesser of the greater, that want to take advantage of men that feel that they can be overthrown or taken advantage of. So that was a question in my mind as well. What is the fear, And his last video, I believe it's modern day women are gonna die alone, and my thought is, we all are gonna die alone. That's what life is. We have these beautiful experiences and memories, but we're born, alone, and we're gonna basically die alone. Our soul, our spirit, who we are, is gonna die alone, even though we have these beautiful life experiences that we will take with us down in history, in this world, in this lifetime. But one thing, I believe what was come through my feed, even though I don't necessarily subscribe to him now or looked at a whole video or agree with everything that he says, and I'm going to say that his approach is for the betterment, but I still can't really vibe into his ideology, but he has seemed like a good following. Some of the people that have benefited from his teaching, his counseling, etc. So no knock to that. But I did want to come forth and say, it's not necessarily that approach that everyone has to take, or for women, single mothers especially, to feel hopeless about finding a good relationship. And like I said, I believe he had a poll, like I was going to say, that came through my feed that says, ladies, do single mothers deserve high value men? And I think he reversed it and ask men, do single mothers deserve high value men? And basically it was most people saying, according to the poll, that single mothers do not deserve high value men. And so I was like, wow, so I was going to chime in. And I don't usually chime in, but I just said high value is subjective. And at first, unless you look at his videos, I guess you'll come into idea of what they consider high value. That's not necessarily what I consider high value, but to each his own. My little say so was, high value is subjective. Do high value men deserve single mothers? Because there are some beautiful single mothers that are doing the best that they can for their children. They have careers, they know how to take care of their home and their men, have good productive relationships, and don't want to use men. So do high value men, whatever that means, deserve these single mothers? And then I said, may the single mothers know their worth, and the real men that love them prosper. Have value, question mark, is always subjective, and we men and women deserve the best of everything, high and low. So, that was my little take on it. And I started to read some of the other comments, and a lot of men I noticed in there, and some women, saying, I guess it's kind of like downplaying and kind of crucifying single mothers for being single mothers, not taking into consideration and how they really did the research and say, even though, there are some single fathers, but there are also fathers of these single mothers. So, they don't approach both parties of this particular relationship or this particular child. And as I said before, it takes a village to raise children. So even though the mother is not necessarily in a relationship with the father or any other man, but no one really is raising a child alone. And I think it's a very selfless act to be in a relationship with a child that doesn't have a healthy relationship with the father, and you take that aspect of being that healthy father figure in someone else's life. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have a good relationship with their mother or father. Like I said, it takes a village, and it's your preference or not whether you want to be in a relationship with a woman or a man that has children. A lot of people don't, but like he mentioned in his last video, modern day women are going to die alone. Like I said, we all die alone. You may be surrounded by beautiful family members, that's including a wife, family, mother, father, cousin, and also stepchildren. So I don't think you want to knock out your blessings necessarily by saying, just because a woman has children, that you don't want to be in a relationship with her, or a single man that has children, even that's not more of a issue. And no, I don't agree with women saying, I want a high value man. I guess what they mean by high value is, I read some of the comments that they have good paying jobs and they want to pay the bills, and they don't want to be taken advantage of, and financially, that type of situation. And as I think back on it, I was talking to a gentleman that, knew I had kids, even though my kids are much older, and they had relationships anyway with their father, so they didn't need assistance from someone else unless they wanted to. I didn't really date a lot when I was single, so, but anyway, he had an issue with my son, and he didn't even meet my son, and he didn't even meet me in person. We were just talking, and the fact that I was a single mother was a problem for him. So being a single mother is not a representation of necessarily the mother, but it is the other person's preference and their issue. And women, single mothers, should move past that and find someone, or focus in on yourself and your children, instead of worrying about, being a single mother and feeling hopeless that you can't be in a good, loving relationship with a so-called high value man. Anyway, that's my thought. Anyway, just wanted to come forth and share that, my 2 cents of this situation. Modern day women are going to die alone. So are modern day men, whatever that means, I guess, we are in different times right now. If you can find a good man or a good woman to be in a relationship with, and someone that's willing to care for a family, whether it's their children or not, is a beautiful situation. So I just wanted to come forth and share that. And I know a lot of people, we have so much going on in the world today, to be psychologically worried about someone else's view about whether they have children or not. It's just too much going on in the world to worry about. If a man is high value and he is going to have to take care of someone else's children, if you're lucky enough to find someone that is without children, good luck, and God forbid that, you become a single father, or have a single mother out there that you are not participating in their lives, are, it's just too much going on in the world to be concerned about someone else's pockets and whether or not you care enough or not to take care of someone else's child. Just too much going on. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. And modern day women, mothers, fathers, don't worry about having to die alone, because we all have to do it anyway. Die alone. We're born alone. We have to die alone. And it's just these beautiful life experiences that leaves behind some beautiful memories for those that's left behind. Anyway, that's all I wanted to come forth and say. I hope that y'all have a beautiful day. And this has been Sinette Enter Angela. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful Saturday. Take care.